Hello and welcome to All I Do Is Fail. I am your host, Tom Elwes. I am joined today, as ever, by my co-host, Mr. Ali Woods.
Hey Tom, hey listeners. How are you doing today, Tom? You all right?
I am ecstatic. This is a good day for me.
Okay, what's up?
I don't have coronavirus just yet.
Right, okay, fucking hell. Well, that's going to make your personality, is it?
Yeah.
Finally? Something interesting about Tom for once. Jesus Christ.
What about you, Ali? You worried about
I have
it?
coronavirus, but I don't let it define me. Sorry, guys. But no. I'm having.
Are you working the coronavirus? You put it on socials.
Look,
Hashtag Corona.
You've got to have a USP as a comedian, right?
Right.
And I'm going
Yeah.
for infectiously funny
Yeah.
Ali Woods.
Yeah.
I couldn't
They
stop
look at you and they go,
coughing.
that bland white boy, what's he got? And then you go...
Lamb White
look.
Boy is the character I do
Yeah.
on Fridays and Sundays at Vauxhall Comedy Club.
Yeah.
So, I'm having a great week, to be honest. I'm having a great week, and I really enjoyed our live show last time. Thank you, everyone, for coming. That was really great. And thank you to Kelly Ford, Book of Mum, for coming down and being the guest.
Yeah, that was
Did you have
amazing.
a good time?
Oh, it was incredible. It was amazing to see people who actually listen that aren't our mums. Like, it's it's unbelievable.
My mum does not listen to this.
It's
Will
just
never
my
listens to
mum.
this.
And
What is a podcast? What? Do you make money off of it? Well, no, mum. It's more about building a following. What? A following for the what? You should do a job where they pay you. Where they pay you. So thanks, mum. It was great. And sometimes you think, am I funny? But then you hear the laughter at the live shows, and you're like, fucking hell, I am just smashing it every day. And humble as well. Humble.
you need that coronavirus to come quickly and end this suffering with me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very honoured today to be joined by the fantastic Aurie Styla.
What's going on, guys? Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Aurie?
I'm
good?
all right.
What are you up to today? You've helped us out with a few technical difficulties at the start.
Nah, I didn't do anything really.
Yeah.
Nah. Nothing a FaceTime call wouldn't fix.
We think of doing nothing.
Welcome back.
This is bullshit. I'm furious.
Welcome back. Our
I hate this
producer.
fucking dynamic.
Our producer has returned from his gap year. He's
Yeah.
come back from Namibia.
Yeah, it's absolute hell already. I wish I was back in Africa. This is bullshit.
How was
Fuck this.
Namibia? Did you get some good photos?
Yeah, I did get. Actually, I got excellent photos, to be honest.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that was the
4K
way you went,
video
wasn't
footage.
it?
Where was it you went?
I went to Africa and Namibia. It's
Oh,
not a big
nice.
deal. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And
But I
Did
don't
you
like
find
talking
yourself?
about it. No, I didn't find myself. I'm pissed off. I want my money back.
Fair enough.
any stories before we continue the podcast?
No.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
So that's Horatio back. We did ask some of the
Have you
listeners.
you must have something.
No, I got loads of stuff, but I'm not wasting on this.
We did ask some of the listeners last week who they preferred as producer, you or Mooch.
And what did they say?
Mooch, unresounding. It was unbelievable.
Wow, no, did they really?
Because me and Tom prefer Mooch, obviously, but they said they preferred you.
Did they actually?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's good. 'Cause-
They enjoyed your chat of incels.
Yeah.
The insight was
Wait, do you guys? How many fans are we talking though?
Literally,
handfuls of
twos of
yeah,
fans.
six,
Wait, and these are like these are
Seven.
people who are unrelated to you and comedy. Yeah. Like
yeah.
okay, like
Some were from my
like
Bumble,
cousin-
but like that's just
yeah.
What do you want? Their social security numbers? Believe us.
No, but I mean, like, what kind of?
What kind of people? They
You
were
didn't-
sort
you
of
didn't get, like, a
neckbeardy,
complete-
yeah. They were
sort
your
of
fans. They were
Oh,
incel.
yeah, they were your fans, right? They were your type of people.
Yeah.
They sort of very
Darth
shifty.
Vader 747. Did he go?
Wait, is that a person? Tell me that's not a person.
Someone
Yeah, it's
from
on
the
the
forums.
incel forums.
Oh, do you know what incels are?
I'm big on the incel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's big with the incel forums.
You're big with the intel
You
forum.
got to find a niche, stick.
There
To
was
it.
a guy. There was a guy who sat there the whole time in an anonymous mask. He just sort of nodded at us.
Yeah. Mate, we live in a society,
And when we brought
man.
up
We live in a
incels, he
society.
just raised both his arms like that at the back.
Oh,
We're
man.
starting a movement. I assume you didn't get any female listeners.
No,
If it works.
no, but
let's-
have you ever actually used a proper line?
Nah, not a proper line. There's a technique, but not a line. Chloroform.
It's a discipline.
Chloroform and a tissue.
It's a way of mind. Yes. Yeah.
Nah, do you know, when I say technique is... oh, you just got that one, yeah?
I was fiddling with something.
Nah, that's fine. Easy, Chuck. Easy. Talking about dating, all of a sudden you was fiddling with something. All right, no, but technique I use, obviously with comedians, people like someone who can make them laugh. I jump into that bag where I know that a character I can be on stage, a little bit humorous, not too much. I don't do like a whole punchline, but just a little bit of that character where I know they'll go, oh, he's all right. He's a bit of a laugh. Why not? Why not use the tools that you have? That's how
You
I
should
feel.
try that, Tom.
Well, you know, I'm doing all right.
You're too busy marketing the show.
Yeah, mate. I'm
All right,
all right.
darling. Listen, I got free tickets for you.
Q jumps, you go straight to the front of the conversation with me after the show. Free shot of apple sours. I promise I'll take a photo of you. You can send to your girlfriend saying, spending a weekend with Elwes.
My Edinburgh flyering technique was much like a sort of promoter on the strip of Ibiza. Just getting them in, just
Fair
like
enough.
fucking come in.
Did
Girls
it
look for a
work?
good time, yeah?
If it worked.
Yeah.
Free entry if you're fit, you can come in. You have to stay out.
What's your approach, Ali?
Sorry, my approach is anyone interested in some free comedy? I'm just a nice guy who looking for audience members.
That's the creepy
Oh,
version.
it's like, innit?
I
Yeah,
got
this
it,
is
I got
the-
it,
yeah, like
The
the
creepy
guy,
thing.
the guy in Netflix. You is a program called You.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much that way,
Yeah,
bro.
That's
I
my
like
vibe.
it.
Yeah.
Does a lot of
Sociopathic eyes.
research on them first.
Exactly.
Smile. You got the top half of the face. Is no, bottom half of the face is like this. Yeah. And it's like, second half is just- And if you want to see that face, guys, watch the episode on YouTube. So, Aurie,
Yes.
talking about promoting things, you've got your finger in many pies. What are you saying? What's going on? What is the Aurie Styla empire?
Right now, it's based on Aurie Styla, Team AS. I got a team that were also the same team I have for my company, Comedy Mania, which is a brand that brings comedy shows around the world. We've slowed that down because I gave up on myself in terms of pushing myself for the past couple of years as much as I should do to make Comedy Mania something. It's a nice, solid brand. Now it's time I need to be a bit more selfish and go, forget all of that. I need to focus on me. So, yeah, right now, the empire is more so on myself.
And what is it? Is it stand-up? Is it YouTube? Is it sketches? What's involved?
It's mainly stand-up, but you cannot avoid putting content online. If you want to stay relevant, whether you want to or not, like build content, if you want to stay relevant, you need to just get in the mindset of, this is what I need to do. Luckily, I enjoy it. I'm not going to lie to you. I enjoy building bits to put online on social media, on YouTube, because it's fun. It keeps your muscles stretched. If you just wait until the next gig to go and do a show, then you get a bit stale. But if you can go into the mindset of building content, even though it's not a stage, it's a camera, and you got to perform to the camera, you get your head in gear, it keeps you working. It's like a gym in my eyes. So when you go on stage, which is the fight, you're already kind of match fit because you've already got yourself in the gear of, I need to be funny, I need to grab these people.
I think this is important as well for like comics, as we're all starting to embrace the online and
Yeah.
online content.
Tom's on TikTok.
Big,
Yeah.
big,
You want
yeah, big
Tick
deal,
Tom,
mate.
there he is.
Yeah, yeah.
Is your
Already.
It's just at Tom Elwes. Yeah.
Tick Tom Elwes?
You were telling me about TikTok. I can't get into it, mate.
But it's just another platform. It's just the next one. It's like, you know, it's coming up,
Yeah.
and it's owned by the Chinese, and they've got too much money to let it die. So like,
Fair
they're
enough.
you know, they're going to be plugging that for forever. You know, coronavirus or no coronavirus, but like they will be pushing that to the very end.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, you know, that's for the. I'm all for them and the Chinese. We're big fans of them on the show, so that's, you know. That's,
Famously big fans of the Chinese, guys.
huge.
Don't
We have
come and
no
look for
problems
us.
with the Chinese empire or anything that they
You just
do.
don't want them to hack the cameras.
Shut up, Aurie!
Shut up! We're
Still
fine.
missed.
We're
Mr.
fine.
Steve comes out the cameras right now. You're thinking,
Yeah.
what the hell?
I don't know why that red light's on. That's never come on before. That one,
In the
but-
middle, we are all going to do a sort of hail to Xi Jinping and, you know,
Yeah, we
maybe
could do
the
that.
Chinese national anthem.
Just to cover ourselves.
I'm surprised that you know the Chinese. What is it called? President or prime minister?
Oh, I'm big into China. I've been.
He's being
Rabbit
honest.
hole, rabbit
He's
hole,
being
mate. I'm
genuine.
well in.
Why are you so into China?
Oh, I just think it's very interesting. But you know what? Okay, so talking of the coronavirus, right? Because they are a state that is communist, they have been able to deal with it in a way that no other country would be able to do.
So they're locking people down, yeah.
locked down everything. Italy, as soon as I heard Italy, they were fining people.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
true.
they
It's
were
true.
fining people. They had to stop fining people
They were
because they're giving out
fining.
too many fines because people just kept leaving their house, just being like, oh, if I just 15 minutes, you
They
know,
were finding
yeah.
people.
leaving the house. And
For
they just-
leaving the house spreading the virus.
yeah.
Oh,
It's a good point.
A
And the
fine.
Italians are just like,
A
latte,
fine.
come on, 15 minutes. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Bit racist,
fine.
yeah.
Oh, they're not serious about their life.
The
A
Italians.
fine.
You can't be racist to Italians, I think.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, I think Tom just proved you can.
well, you know, we'll see what the backlash is online.
We've got
You
to-
Italian?
Well, yeah, I'm a bit.
Does he look Italian?
No.
I'm an eighth Italian.
An eighth,
So-
yeah.
So I got Italian that goes back, but you can't be racist against them.
All right then.
Yeah.
I think.
Is that an actual fact or is it
No,
like...
if I looked it up. You can't.
Oh, you can't?
Impossible.
Well, you know, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Or maybe, do you think Southern European? They're kind of, you can be racist if you're Northern European because they're still, you know.
Are you trying to?
I
Are we
don't know.
trying to find out how?
How do we be
I don't know, 'cause you can be
I'm not going
racist.
to finish this episode, guys, until we
No,
sort
because
this.
you
problem
can be
out.
racist to Eastern Europeans.
I'm pretty sure
You
you can be
can't-
racist to pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
No, because that's xenophobia.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because xenophobia is just hatred of foreigners, which is not.
Were you
racism.
practicing your racism when you were touring South
No,
Africa?
just I was
Is this-
trying to work out what it was.
I learned some.
How
things.
happy were you on January the 31st?
Oh, very happy.
Okay, just double checking.
Oh, just got done finally.
All my country back.
I mean, you can see the change already. People are happier on the streets. The streets I go down anyway. Yeah.
The Boris bounce, baby.
Have you seen, when you're talking about the coronavirus, there was, I can't remember where, it might be in Italy, that people got locked down in a brothel. They're not allowed to leave a brothel.
Oh, no.
They're not allowed to leave a brothel.
No, tell his wife like,
You're
I
saying,
walked in here, but I'm
this is
gonna
what I'm
stay.
saying. You're going, oh no, because you're just thinking about how much fun you can have. He's thinking, what do I tell the missus? What was I doing in here in the first place?
Yeah, it's like, oh, they locked me in here.
I was literally
I was
going
in
to get you a
direction.
present
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
supermarket.
Oh, the Toblerone.
And,
I had a Toblerone.
yeah, I had to go you a
This
chocolate. And
wasn't
they were like,
Tesco's
they were like,
Express.
quick, get you in the brothel. I was like, that's the last place I want to go. But all right, then. Because, I felt bad for them, so I started paying for the services. Because, I didn't want them to lose any money.
Now you've got to be locked in there for I don't know how long. What's
Probably 2 weeks.
What's the quarantine period that you've got to be for?
It's like 2 weeks. I think.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Your relationship's gone. You're on risk of dying. Everything's dead to you.
So like the stock markets have like fallen through the roof. Like absolutely.
Oh, no, all
gone
my
in-
shares.
No, but like it's quite. So the only things that people have, the only thing that has done well, and because of the quarantine, is gold because everyone buys gold when people panic.
And Bitcoin.
And like Netflix and gaming companies have done really well because they know if everyone's gonna have to be quarantined, what are they gonna do?
Stay in. Podcasts,
Come
guys.
on. Come on.
Sit at home, listen to a bit of
on
All I
now.
Do Is Fail.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
that'd be it.
That
Imagine,
Did you
imagine
see
that
the
you
story-
binge watch? All I do is fail. That could be our niche.
Did you see the story about the guy who tried to rob an off license
in Florida?
with a cough?
What the fuck?
No, in Florida. Yeah.
He was a
Chinese
Chinese,
guy.
Chinese
Yeah.
origin in Florida.
Yeah. Of
Walked
course it's
in and was like,
Florida.
"I'll cough on you if you don't give me the money in the register."
That's
Hey.
hilarious.
That is creative.
Yeah, but guns are legal there as well. It just seems like a weird.
Yeah, but right now, what are you more scared of?
Yeah, it's true.
They've all got we've all got gun
Everyone's
mate in
got-
Florida.
That's
Yeah,
boring.
exactly. Yeah,
Oh my!
that's so good.
Only in Florida.
Yeah.
Of any state in the United States, Florida would have to be the one that does that.
Like Florida, I mean, the story we've spoken about, a few stories we've had. When we have the woman who tried to steal a car with a snake. She went up to, she tried to hijack a car with a poisonous snake, and she said, "I'm gonna let my snake on you." Yeah,
sick.
Florida again?
yeah,
Oh,
100%.
Oh god.
Yeah, I'm gonna do you with a snake.
What would be what's your plan then, Tom? If are you
What for coronavirus?
yeah, or just any
Well, I've stocked up on gas masks, and I plan to sell them.
gas masks?
Do they actually work? Like the
No, those don't do shit. But like a full-on gas mask. That's
Have you
what-
actually bought gas masks?
Yeah, I've got a basement full of them,
But
mate.
your head's quite big, innit?
Yeah,
so,
no, it'd be
you
like a
can't
big
wear
one.
them.
I'm going more like a goldfish.
That's
bar.
not. That's
One of those
Tom's
glass
gone.
goldfish.
Surely they're adjustable.
yeah, that squirrel in SpongeBob
Yeah,
SquarePants.
that's my
That's what
vibe.
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
that's- so-
Astronaut Tom. That'll be fun. All
Yeah.
right.
For full
okay.
astronaut suit, maybe you could get like a one off eBay or something.
Yeah.
Bubble boy. Full
Are you
bubble.
still hugging and kissing people? What's your vibe?
No, I think it's all right. Look, fundamentally, I think we're all going to get it, but it's just it's just be annoying.
Really?
I talked to
Fundamentally,
when I was in
We're all
Bristol.
gonna get it.
I think so.
Well, I talked to someone in Bristol, and they work at GPs in strategy and planning, and they said now it changed. It was like it changed every day, but now everyone's sort of thinking it's not if it's going to infect Britain, it's when, and they're just hoping it will be in the summer because people get less ill and stuff in the summer. But it's not lethal for us. It's not lethal.
Yeah, it's for old people.
Yeah.
And I swear,
And
1%.
babies,
The
yeah.
flu kills 1% of people who get it or something, and coronavirus kills like 2%. So it's just like
I thought it was less infectious than the flu. Sorry, not less infectious, less lethal than the flu.
I don't know.
I
But
think it's less
if you
lethal.
compare it with the flu, it's just if you did the same scare with flu in general.
The
then
worry
it
is
would-
we don't have a vaccine, and that's the issue that everyone's scared about. We
Yeah.
don't know. Like, if you get ill, your body has to build up the antibodies.
And you can get reinfected by it as well, which
Yeah,
is a bit
exactly
scary.
that.
Whoa, who do you reckon in your circle of who's going to give it you?
Who's
Do you
going to
reckon
give
I'm
it?
gonna
Who's
give
going to
it?
give it? Yeah. Who's going to give it?
Yeah.
The way you were looking at me like that,
from,
I thought, the way you were looking at me, I thought you was going to say, when everyone gets it, who are you going to eat first?
Yeah.
That's what, that's really what I
When
thought
the
you were gonna
apocalypse
what it
comes,
looked
Tom.
like.
Yeah, yeah,
When the
yeah.
say.
apocalypse
When are you going
comes,
to eat first?
we got. I don't know. I think Mooch could last us a few times.
Yeah,
He's got
yeah.
beef. He's a beefy guy.
Yeah, we eat Mooch.
No, there's always people in the friendship with you like you're the ill one, you're the disgusting one.
Or the
Do you
low
know that?
hygiene one.
Yeah, you know, innit? The one who's like, oh, pass me some of them crisps, like, and stuff like that. And you're like, no.
Dirty folk out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just think we're all just going to have to take it and hope it works out for the best.
Cheers, that's
Be like chicken pox
that's
as a
Minister
kid.
of the Department of Health, Tom
Yeah, yeah.
Elwes.
Take it.
You have to take it,
You'll
get
be
over
sweet.
it, mate. Bloody
Yeah.
snowflakes.
Yeah.
Back in my day, We all got coronavirus. We signed up to get coronavirus.
Polio. That's what we were dealing with. Nothing. I don't know. It's,
How did you get into stand-up? Before we get onto fails,
Oh, correct.
I want to know because you started
a
the
swift transition.
Comedy Mania. And
that was 2012. So I got into stand-up 2010.
what was the circuit like back in 2010?
Well, how long have you been doing it for?
It's like 3 years.
Only
3
3 years?
years.
Oh, fair
I'm
enough.
4.5 years.
4.5.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Oh, yeah, I feel like a veteran now. I'm not even, in my
Tell
eyes,
us,
I
Grandad,
still-
what was it
That's what I
like?
feel like, yeah.
Horatio's 17.
Yeah.
That's why he's not very
Yeah,
sort of switched on.
How long have you been doing?
I've been doing it 15 years.
Yeah.
No, I've been doing it about 2.5.
Oh, that does say, yeah. 'Cause I was,
Yeah,
looking,
for a second.
I was looking like, nah, you're not that old. How old are you, Rachel?
22.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right, 2 years. So you started 20.
Yes.
What would you do now differently if you were starting day one, like back in 2010 again?
Oh, don't try and be funny all the time.
That's it. Yeah.
It sounds
Any
weird.
comedian-
It sounds so weird.
yeah, Tom's been doing that. It's going well.
Don't try and be funny. Literally, just be yourself and find the funny in that. You know when you sit there and go, "This will be funny to say on stage," but if it's got nothing to do with you and you can't deliver it, you ain't got. It's not. It's stupid you trying to put that forward. I used to do kids parties. There's humor in like doing jokes about kids parties. But if I didn't do that and thought it'd be funny to talk about it, I'd be talking from an angle from an outsider who doesn't really know. I'm really looking at it from a this should be funny angle. And there's so much we can talk about that we experience that is funny. Just focus on that and always trying to be yourself. I would have told myself that before. Yeah. Back then, I was always trying to be like the guy who got the biggest laugh. How can I be funny? How can I get this joke over? As most comics would do, because in our head, it's we need to just get that fucking laugh.
Yeah.
Really and truly, you do, but don't forcefully try to get it because the audience know. They know when you're acting up. They know when you're saying something like, oh, you know when you work in an office, they look at you like, bruv, you barely comb your hair, brush your teeth. You don't work in the office.
Yeah.
Don't try and force it. I think that's what I would have told myself from earlier, and that would have allowed me to find my character a bit earlier and then be able to delve and work on that rather than waiting until 4 or 5 years down and going, oh, this is who I am.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
what
my-
the advice I got was that's the only real competitive edge you have over everyone else is that they can't be you as much as you can be
Exactly that.
So
If
just
you
do
can
that.
lean into that. Like some of it, look
Obviously,
at
Tom, you need to tone it down for you a little bit. But
Yeah, turn it down.
Just too much.
just, too much.
it's a
I mean,
little
the
less
next
you, Tom.
Yeah.
You should be more Aurie, actually.
Yeah.
That'd be better.
yeah, if you could do so.
Yeah. That's
Tom
the-
Styler.
If you got like think of your favorite comics, I guarantee you
Tom
majority
Ellis.
of them. Well, all right, I know you're joking there, but if you're telling the truth, he's not.
Rory, you want me up?
No, you're right. You're right. I can't fool you, Aurie. You're right again. No, of course not. No.
If you think of who they are, guarantee you, you appreciate them for just being rawly who they are.
Yeah.
And that's some of the best things about comedy is you can watch someone on stage be themselves and be funny, and it makes you go, well, rah, I need to. It makes you want to work more to be as hardworking as they are or where they're at, but more so as they've just figured out who they are earlier.
Like
That's what I think.
Roy Chubby Brown is a good example.
Roy Chubby Brown.
Yeah.
Stop trying. So this is
Go ahead.
so
he
just,
loves it.
no,
Yeah,
just,
wait for this
just,
one.
just the context. Our producer,
ahead,
our producer who we pay to create the show,
Yeah, not
is
much
now
though, is
trolling
it?
it live. You're trolling our show live.
You have to pay me more to not
Roy
try.
Chubby Brown.
That's a good point. No, we will.
wish
We will
that
get you
You have
that.
to put in
We will-
my clause.
we will
You're like,
get you.
another £10 an hour. I won't try.
No, we will get you that $5 we
I
owe you for
genuinely-
for the last 10 episodes.
I
But
do wish that this alt-right incel character was a character and actually just wasn't who he really was. Like, I mean, it'd be a good character on stage. Like, people would like it.
no, you're so true. I don't know Roy Chubby Brown as much as to comment on that, and I think I'm going to leave it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But you're true in that I love it when you go to a club and there's a comedian there that you've not watched before.
Yeah.
But then you find out they've been going like 25 years and they've just
Yeah.
been killing the circuit, and they go on and it's so natural. And you chat to them before and it's like the same person just walks on and they destroy it. And as you say, they destroy it being them.
Yeah.
They don't do the sort of paint by numbers comedy. I like call it like the common denominator, where it's just like that one thing that, if I talk about marriage for a bit, and they'll talk about work for a bit, and they'll talk about, the weather's shit, and then I'll be like, good night. And then, no, they're talking about their lives, and it's hilarious.
Like one of my favorite comics to work with.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. No, honestly, very kind. Very kind. So let's go on to all of this.
This guy called Horatio.
There's two Horatios.
Yeah.
No way. You wouldn't have thought that. You would not have thought that. So,
That is, one of my favorite comics to ever work with. And he's highly accessible to any of us because we'll do gigs and he might be there. Is Jeff Innocent.
Yeah.
And, mate, watching him.
Icon.
Oh, mate, absolute icon. And the thing is, he's someone you can call a friend because you could just call him and say, hey, how you doing? But when you come away from being backstage with him or just talking to him as a regular person and watch him craft, he's amazing. The fact he looks the way he looks and knows it, right? He always say how he looks racist, knows he is married to a black woman. All his kids are mixed race and knows he can play on that. You can't fake that unless that is actually your life. So when we're talking about people just being themselves and authentic, not just telling jokes like, the weather, like you said, but being able to find the humor in something of that nature, mate, and it come across so natural. In my eyes, you've won.
yeah.
You can't top that. Always kills at a show because you cannot beat somebody who's genuinely just being himself and it is funny as hell.
Yeah. Not the first time he's been mentioned on this program.
Yeah.
A few times.
A lot
Yeah.
of comedians.
Have you
rate
tried to
him.
get him on the pod?
Well,
Should do.
I haven't asked it. I've given him a couple of times, but I don't know him.
Loads of comics like that, like him and so many others. If you could get them on here, mate.
The killers.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. He can kill in every room as well. It doesn't matter what.
Every
Doesn't matter
room.
any demographic, any room. He's like
Every
murder.
room.
And I think that's what makes you a genuinely really good comic. There's a lot of people out there now playing to their audience and like just doing shows from their audience that they've built, and it's just them. But he's one of them. You can go in any room.
Do you know, I think it's good that you can, if you know your audience, have it and then provide for your audience when you put on a show for them. But if you want to be a true comic that's touring around the world, actually calling yourself a comedian rather than just a guy who's funny to your own, like you say, you got to do other rooms as well. You've got to throw yourself in the deep end of uncomfortable places. We spoke about going to parts of the country where you might perform in a city which isn't London, like Birmingham or Manchester, but because they have the hustle and bustle of a city, when we deliver jokes that are similar to ours, because we're from a city, they get it. But you go to a village, you know when they just have that one pub that they go to every Friday, and that is the central hub for anyone to meet up and be social. It's very insular, almost xenophobic at times, because you walk in there.
Very diplomatic of you there, Aurie.
Maybe
You're not
Some
from
might
around
say
here.
Yeah.
they're
Well,
racist backwater shitholes, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
wouldn't be
yeah.
one of
It
those
may
people.
not happen to you, but believe me, people sometimes notice when I'm about to be in a city or a town or a village that I'm not really from. Sometimes you go in a room and that happens, and you realize you have to really adapt. And it's such a learning curve, but once you find that groove, it's the best feeling because it's the hardest challenge. It's like lifting the heaviest weight in the gym that you couldn't lift before. Ali, you'll get there.
Yeah, you'll get
there
it one day, mate.
You'll
I can
get there.
imagine you, Ali, just slipping right into any village situation and just being like, "Oh, it's
guys.
it's Martin's boy. He works
I
down."
turned on
he
the
works-
TV the other day. No one was white or spoke English.
Yeah.
That's the problem now.
People would see you.
Sorry, anyway, I shouldn't.
That's Edith's nephew.
I shouldn't steal Horatio's material. Sorry, Horatio.
Martin works down the road, doesn't he? That's his son.
That Ali was ginger fella. He was funny, wasn't he? He was good when he made them cock jokes. He was funny. Yeah, no, I've got one tonight. I'll be there. Camberley, I'll see you later.
Slip in seamlessly to the conversations at the bar.
But we've talked about this before as well, because obviously, as in, like, when you're starting out, you try and pretend to be something else.
Yeah.
And, like, I've done that thing before of going to these places, being from London, and pretending, like, oh, I hate London too. I'm like you. It's too much. But it's not, because they just smell it on you.
They
for
know
sure.
you
Especially when you're
love
doing the
your
voice.
home,
It's like,
innit?
"Hello,
Yeah.
what's going on? Are you all right?"
Yeah.
All right, Tom, don't pass out. Jesus Christ. You like that voice? Tom doesn't normally do accents. I'm not the one who does accents. That was good.
You've got a silly
it's not
mood
bad.
going on.
Yeah,
Everyone's
you
feeling a bit free and loose.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Better
yeah.
art.
It's just, Tom, Horatio,
sorry.
you've come in quite.
Yeah,
Can you just
sorry,
turn
sorry,
your mic
yeah,
off, please?
shit.
Thanks. Oh, he's
Horatio,
done
you
it.
gotta stop doing that
Horatio,
for
don't
bullying
do
you,
that. Don't do that. He's.
Oh
So,
no.
Horatio, put your mic back on. He's on his. I mean, he's on his phone. He's not even playing.
Doesn't do
his
shit. Yeah.
But yeah, no, because they smell it on you when you're trying to be
100.
something. But I've had the same as well. Is that when I've gone into well, as you were talking about before, in terms of that black circuit or that urban circuit, as I say when I'm afraid to say black circuit.
And he
Say
puts,
black.
yeah.
Say black. Don't say urban. Trust me.
and he
This
puts
is
on the voice there as well. I swear.
And I'm
It's
like,
like-
all right, guys, how's it going,
No, no,
everybody?
it's a completely different voice. It's not that voice.
I know that
Yeah,
much.
right, guys.
Wagwan
yeah.
brethren.
Yeah, he comes out like.
Are we saying blood? I
Yeah.
can just imagine.
Yeah, well, I just slip into my normal voice, and but yeah, and then I can see it go the other way there as well, because you got to, because any audience can smell it on you when you're trying to
100%.
pretend to be, and by trying to be on their side, you actually make them dislike you because like, you're not being
100%.
honest with us.
Yeah, we like they can see you. They know. Like I did a gig in Kent not too long ago.
Yeah, that's the start of a lot of bad sentences.
Just
It
Kent,
was-
full
yeah,
stop.
just- that's it. All right, so next topic.
Kent audiences are getting annoyed at them because I'd say to them, they've got the arrogance of people that could live in London because they make enough money, but they choose not to because they want to live in a smaller place.
We must have been in a different part of Kent.
Oh, really?
bruv.
Oh, well,
This
there
was
you
like a festival that was going on, an all-day festival thing. I think it was on for 2 days, and literally everybody in that place, in there, everybody was white. So I stood out. Funnily enough, as I walked in there, there's a massive kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It was. I don't know. It's like it was just a massive hall, but you know, like when you go to like XL Centre, and it's just open space.
Oh, huge, yeah.
It was like that, but it was smaller than XL, but it was similar kind of shape like that. And then you had a big divider, and you go through to the other room, and again, it's another big space. It was not full. It was pretty empty, right? Cold as hell, no heating. It was in the middle of a field, and outside they had like fairground rides. This has been like a 2-day thing, and I think on the last day that they had some comedy going on. Before me, they had a tribute rock band, right?
At any point, is there like a tribute rock band? Or
That's
like,
it. You know where we're going with
yeah,
this.
yeah. We've had loads of people that do gigs, and like the band Madness or something is on later.
Yeah.
And they're the opening.
that's what the audience
Goes
are there for,
bad.
yeah.
Exactly. So, and they had no seats. So people had to sit
Brilliant.
kumbaya on the floor, right? Which for the rock band was okay because they'll get up and jump around if they need to.
You got the Supergrass tribute act going on.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was, and they started their intro, right? I kid you not, with the theme music to the Avengers, right? They let it play for like 30 seconds and then started guitar riffing on top of it. And then after they did their like 25 minutes, they're going to come on after the comedy bit, but then comes the comedy bit again. I walk on, I'm the MC, and the first thing I said, I just got to address it. Look, guys, I know what you're thinking. We all thought this. You all looked at me. I looked at you. I know everyone's thinking the same thing. Evidently, I stand out as a Chelsea fan. Right?
Nice.
And then it just broke the room.
Yeah.
Because they knew I meant it because I'm the only black guy in here of about 5,000-6,000 people. And the thing is, I knew they felt that way because you can go to an area and just see, there's a black guy, an Asian guy, whatever. And you don't think of anything. But when you walk in and everyone looks at you like, what is he? Is he at the right place? Has he got off at the wrong train? Like when they're doing that whole head turn to you, you know that they're thinking he doesn't really seem like he was gonna come here. Highlight it, get out of the park. Once you've done that, you break that awkwardness, then cool. But if I go in there and I start trying to be like them, oh yeah, I love tribute rock. How about you guys?
like the
Shut the
Stone
fuck
Roses?
up. They're not gonna care. Shut up. You don't like tribute rock. It was like that. They had the headliner was Lee Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
And but he played it was Simon playing Simon as opposed to playing the character Lee. But they were there for that. They loved it. They thought it was hilarious. They wanted him to kind of throw some of his one-liners out there every now and then. But he knew as soon as he went on there and tried to do that, it would be more them laughing at the caricature rather than enjoying comedy. And he said, I'm not going to do that. I came here to just be Simon. I'm trying out some stuff for a show that I've got going on. And they loved it because he was just being himself rather than forcing the laugh out of people. And that's the groove you should find rather than trying to think, how can I be more like the crowd so they like me? They're not stupid. They know when you're acting up. So don't be a dickhead. Just be yourself. Yeah, 100%.
Wise words.
Wise words, Mr. Styla.
I sound like a veteran. Almost.
Yeah.
Tom's 39.
Huh?
He is not 39. He is not 39.
We had this on the podcast
He once convinced
before.
the guest that I was much. I'm 28.
28.
Yeah.
It didn't take much convincing.
Ali, what,
28? 26.
26. I'm not even that much. I'm 32. I'm not even that much older than you. Wow.
No, we're not getting. You're the one getting
I know.
upset about
I'm
it.
not
Sorry,
think-
we
I'm
didn't even
double-
say you were
It's
old.
all right, man.
We were like, that's wise words. You're like, oh, you call me grandpa? are you?
I'm not
oh,
old.
yeah.
I'm on TikTok, motherfucker. I'm on TikTok.
Yeah. Let's get Aurie.
I use MySpace. Now I'm 10 years in next month on Mother's Day actually.
Oh,
10 years in on Mother's Day. But it's time flies.
But we mentioned now, you're doing, after 10 years, was it your first show
Yeah,
again?
so my first tour, one of the things we did, I funded it myself, invested in it, and then also paid for it to get filmed. But the filming was terrible. Like it flopped. No fault of the camera people necessarily. There's so many different factors as to why it didn't work out. But Working Hardly was the first tour I ever did, and it just was like a guy who put on his own tour, did it himself. I built my own big backboard. It was like about the height of this room with my name in it and all sorts. And I got that. I didn't build it myself. I paid for it to get built rather. Doing the tour with six shows, then we had another 4 after some sold out. It was just that feeling of, wow, you actually put in that time and effort to get this done was amazing. But when we recorded it, when I watched back the footage, it was just terrible. I even made it into a DVD, had them pressed, sold some of them as well. Put it on.
That hustle is crazy.
Bro, but I live for it. I love it. I love that hustle.
Most comics are just like, oh, I don't know.
Why is no one booking? Why is no one booking me? I did a good spot the other day.
At the end
Did
of that
no
tour,
one talk about it?
Yeah, I crush it at the gig that I do every week.
at the end of that tour, I do a little like just a thank you to everybody, and I say, look, if there's 2 things I always say is if you don't get an opportunity, like those comics are saying, if you don't get an opportunity, make one for yourself, and hard work always pays off, right? Those are 2 things that I preached in that whole tour. But because I felt like it wasn't recorded properly, because I know we're in an era of streaming and that quality, that was so shit, I said, I'd rather revamp it, do it again properly, have it up on a streaming platform, and rather than just have it as one of the tours that did happen that newer fans may not have seen or may not get a chance to see, I'd rather redo it again now, revamp it, and then have it documented properly. I mean, we like Kevin Hart has got all of his stand-ups on Netflix. Some people still go back to watch the old ones.
Yeah.
We may watch Eddie Murphy Raw or your old George Carlin, but they're not new stuff. It's better that it's documented well enough so people can go back and watch it because it's part of your legacy, and I just want that to be redocumented properly. So I think that's the best way for me to celebrate the 10 years.
Yeah, slap it on there, clip it up. People love it.
Yeah.
People go back and watch, Chappelle bits like on
all
YouTube.
the
It's
time.
just like
All the
crazy the
time.
views those have got. Like,
If your
all the
art's
time.
good enough, it lasts long. That's the
Yeah.
longevity of the hard work. And as you say as well, because everyone's used to videos being such high quality, you can't. You see comedians do it all the time where they've set up a phone in the back of the room,
Bro.
and there's no mic,
No
and they put
mic.
on some clip, and they're like,
The
I literally put a
audio
clip
is-
on a stand-up, and like it's got no views. It's like
The
'cause it
audio
looks
is like, you can hear the
crusty.
audience laughing or coughing or whatever, making
someone
noise.
spilling a drink.
Exactly. You know that noise, yeah?
Move, I need the toilet.
You can't hear.
Someone gets up.
Blocks
It's like one of
minute.
them dodgy cinema, when you want like rip off DVD. Like, yeah.
You see that silhouette doing that?
What's that? What are you going in the bar for?
But they don't grab the audio from the mic at all or from the mixer, which is directly fed from the comedian. And they wonder why it's not clear. Oh, well, you're not invested. Bro, if you don't invest in yourself enough to say, I need to make sure everything comes to particular quality, but then you're going to sit at the same level you've always been, because you're not if you're not willing to put money in yourself to make sure that what quality you're getting is better than what level you want to be at or what level you're at now, then expect to stay there. And that means if you need to, I got a tablet and I've got this device which connects to it, which I can connect to a mixer that records audio straight from the mixer of whatever is going on. It's similar to what a Zoom does when you record the audio from a mixer, but I just did it on my tablet instead. I go with that to shows that I know I'm going to do some time on so I can record my audio. If it's a good clip, cut that up, put that online, bam, where?
Nice.
It just works. It's so much better than just hoping people saw you. It's not going to happen. You go to a show, you got what? Let's say you got 1,000 followers. 100 of those people that came to that show, maybe 2 of them originally followed you. The other 98, you could try and get them to follow you. Not all of them are going to want to, because not all of them liked you. Some did. But there's 1,000 people. I knew you could. I knew you
loves it. He loves it.
I knew you was going to shade Tom.
He's
I knew it.
The joke of it is, I kill it online. He's got nothing. He's got
Yeah,
nothing.
it's true. 300K?
I'm living in the real world.
Ooh.
Oh.
But if you want to follow me, it's Ali Woods Gigs.
Yeah.
I would ideally.
That's the most like boomer shit ever as well. Just
I'd
like,
ideally like to get into double figures
I'm
before
actually living in the real
Edinburgh.
world.
So
I'd like to
if
have
you
an
could
in-depth
follow me.
conversation.
Let me see your followers.
How dare you? Don't.
wanna see
So
how
we'll cut here and then go to the next section. I think.
We'll see.
I have got literally tens of followers, so thank
Tens
you
of
everyone.
followers.
There might be a few, but they're very engaged. They send me a lot of
Those people in the villages
links
don't
to.
That's actually better though.
They send me a lot of links to discount Ray-Bans. So thank you guys. No, I don't understand what it's got to do with my comedy, but thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you reaching out, and I have actually bought
You
quite a
got a
lot.
decent amount. Shut your mouth, man. Your followers all right, man.
Thanks,
Go
Aurie.
away.
Cheers. It's nice to have a
How we
supportive
doing-
person
what are
in
we
the
doing on
studio.
Twitter on this?
Twitter, oh yeah, 24. It's like 700.
Okay.
No, 650.
Oh, that's all right. That's good. Wait, quickly, do you want to tell us about your YouTube channel that you're starting, the gaming channel?
All right, yeah. All right, so, okay. I'm a gamer, love gaming, always have. One thing I learned is if you're going to do content online, do content around what you do and what you love. Those are the two things. I do comedy, so my content can be around comedy, whether it's like day-to-day stuff at home or I'm on my Insta stories, but I make it more funny. And then doing what you love, because I love gaming, and I'm a nostalgic guy. It's not just gaming. I'm a movie buff, and I love watching a lot of retro TV programs over and over again. Even if I've seen them before, there's something that you get when you watch something maybe 5-6 years later when you're older that you never got before. Fresh Prince is a prime example. So I started this channel recently, and I've not even put up episode 1, so you guys are the first people to ever even hear me say this, right? But I'm no one, so it's not even
Exclusive.
It's like, yeah,
No,
you have to be.
preview of the film.
You have to
This
be of
is
a
big
certain
time.
level
We'll
to
put in
shout exclusive.
Oh, really?
You have to be a certain level to shout exclusive.
AIDIF
I'm not that
exclusive.
person.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's I mean, it's not exclusive. It's just information.
But Aurie did send us the press release before he came. He was like, "This is how it's
gonna be
This is
big."
how I want you to ask me."
Yeah.
And he'll be like, "Oh, guys, I didn't actually want to talk about this, but,
Yeah, I'm gonna play it
but
off.
I've got a gaming channel." Yeah.
You're like an artist coming on a
Well,
Zane
as
Lowe
soon as
show
you
to tell
ask,
about
and
their
you
new
have
album. Yeah.
Big old screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's called RPG, which stands for Replay Gang. And basically, it's not just gaming. We watch back on old programs, old TV shows, old movies, and play old school games as people in our 30s. I say people, there's a few of us who are part of the Replay Gang. It's me, and then I've picked about 4 or 5 of my friends who are gamers, who are also entertainers, radio presenters, comics or music artists. Yeah, we just play stuff while we're older. And it sounds such a basic thing, but it's fun for us. But the biggest thing that it triggers in other people is nostalgia. If I put like the music to Super Mario, everybody will whistle it in their head at the very least. And it's just about triggering that nostalgia from an angle where we can now look at it going, that game was my game, oh, it was amazing, and still feel like it's something cool to be involved in or talk about. I mean, we spoke about the love of retro consoles earlier on. You were telling me about what they're building
handhelds.
in. Yeah, the handheld stuff they're trying to build in China as well. That's why he knows about China, because
Handheld gaming, mate.
Yeah.
man.
Don't want him to
He's
stop the supply. Yeah.
So I thought it was just a good idea. I tested out a couple times on my Insta. Rather than say it was part of a channel, I literally just put up a video of me playing a game for like 10 minutes on IGTV. The first one was Sonic the Hedgehog. It was 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles. And it was just like the week before Sonic came out.
Nice.
I had loads of people sharing and commenting. Yeah, how are you dying at that point? Oh, you're rubbish. Oh man, like trying to tell me they're better than what I was.
I was giving you quite a lot of stick in that one, to be fair.
Big.
I thought you said you were a gamer, Aurie. So you said a gamer, bro.
Listen, like for me, I realized Sonic was easy. It was the next one that was hard. Crash fucking Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot.
Bro,
Oh, yes.
the revamp, the one they made for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, is a great revamp. It genuinely feels like a whole new game and looks amazing. Go back and play the old one. It is difficult as hell.
Yeah, but loads of those games are like insanely. Have you ever tried and play GoldenEye now? It's
It's
got
hard.
one stick.
It's so hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a nightmare. to
So
play.
hard. Trying to aim with the one thumbstick, and it's just difficult because we used to using 2 thumbsticks, one for our vision, one for our movement.
yeah.
Bro, it's so hard. But then I know why that is. I found out. I did a bit of research to see why games are so much harder and see if it was a running theme. It's because they wanted more people to get into the gaming market. So they had to make games a bit more easier, or at least have easier modes, so more people can invest in the market and feel like it's not too difficult for them to become a part of. So it makes sense. That's why you get, like, you remember back in the day when you used to play like a Street Fighter game, it would be easy, medium, hard. Then after a while, it was very easy, medium, hard, very hard. Then you get to games like, I don't know, let's go Gears of War. The settings are casual, intermediate. There's something which is like a not so. It's like a expert. That's it, and then insane.
Yeah.
On casual, they'll have a description that says, for the gamer that just wants to pick up a pad, just have a bit of fun. Because you got to make games for people like that because not everyone's going to be that insane gamer.
Yeah.
So with Crash Bandicoot, that was during the era when there was no difficulty setting. The game was just flipping hard. Oh my God, it was blocky. I had to try and move and not jump too far or too short. And because the graphics were so crap.
It was blocky,
Yeah, but back then, they were the sickest graphics
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 3 was the sickest graphics around.
Just having 3D games.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, just going from that 2D to 3D was just like
It was
unbelievable.
amazing. But now, when you look back at the games, they are not easy to play. And that's kind of why I wanted to start the channel, just to put a comedy edge to it of me dying half the time through these games. Or me succeeding where people thought I was going to fail and putting up clips with people I banter with whilst building up content around stuff that I like doing. And I like to go to gaming conventions and stuff that's around gaming. There's groups of people that do that, and it's just fun to see there's a community where 20 years ago I'd be known as geeky, whereas now it's one of the coolest things to be involved in.
Well, you look at streaming gaming, you look at Ninja, you look at
Yeah.
PewDiePie, like all of those guys. They're just it's all started in gaming. All putting out
Stupid
content.
money, a lot of them as well. There's money in the industry.
Yeah.
Money in that industry. So,
But
why?
I always think like when people are like, "Why are you just watching people play games?" It's just like when I was younger, I'd watch my older brother play
it's the same.
constantly,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, "Oh, please give me a go," and be like, "No, you just watch." You'd be like, "Oh, okay."
And it's cool watching people who are good at it as well. Like, well, it's the same way people are like, well, why are you watching football? Why are you going
Exactly,
to play
yeah.
football every time? It's like, well, sometimes I'm not in the mood to, and I just want to chill out and watch
It's good
something.
to watch
and
a
watch some
competitive sport,
people
yeah.
do really well at it, you know what I mean?
Exactly, and appreciate it.
Yeah, I tell you one thing that gaming does need to work on. I play a bit of Apex Legends, right?
Okay,
Like
yeah.
you will get matched with people all around the world, and there is no PC on online gaming in any way, shape, or form. People are talking
No.
crazy. Like you got like 13-year-olds screaming all kinds of stuff at
Yeah.
you. It is nuts.
Do you give
Yeah.
it back? Do you give it back?
Yeah, shut down.
yeah, I'd say.
You get coronavirus, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You get an 11-year-old tell you to suck your mum.
yeah.
It's so
Loads of
wrong.
stuff. Yeah.
So wrong
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
That culture is quite bad. Isn't it?
Yeah. Right, we are going to move on to fail of your life.
Okay.
Take it away. So the floor is yours.
All right. Biggest fail. Oh, does it have to? Is it a fail? All right, we'll go with this one because we've been running with this theme, right? One of the big fails that I had was running my Comedy Mania Weekender. I lost a lot of money doing it. I put up all the money myself. That was stuff that I saved domestically in terms of wanting to buy a place or to make sure I had money down for when I settled down, start having children, family, etc.
Would you be willing to share?
How
Because you
much?
told us.
Yeah,
would you?
35 grand.
And was that?
35
Wait,
grand.
did you have a partner at the time, or was it? Was that a conversation you had to have with a partner?
So when
Be
I started-
I'm rolling the dice.
When I did the first Weekender was 2018. I didn't have a partner.
Right.
The second one, I did have a partner. Now, so let's go with 2018's one. Went in there. My person I always speak to when it comes to things of these decisions is my mum, who's been a very, very successful businesswoman for all of her years up until she retired. Now she just manages properties that she has herself. Now, I have spoke to her and I said, look, mum, it's either I put this money into a place or I use it to invest in an event where every year, if it goes really well, I could see 5 figures a year, which profit, which could make me buy a nice little place outside of London each time and build up a portfolio of properties. And she was like, as long as you get the numbers down, cool. Put on this Weekender. I hire out Pontins. The first one was in Breen Sands. Let me just throw this one out here. I thank you to the team at Pontins for helping me out with putting this event on. But their Breen Sands site is a shithole. Oh my God. No, bruv, there were mushrooms growing on walls in storage areas, right? It is
brutal.
And the thing is, Pontins know what their site's like.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put them down to say you guys are bad, but they know what their site is.
Yeah.
It's hard.
There's no one's going, what? Pontins?
It's not 5-star.
What are you talking
Shocking
about?
us on the
man?
pillow. This is unbelievable.
Mate, the Breen Sands one, I remember in the news, I think about 2 weeks before we were supposed to be on site, someone died in their room, right?
And they were still there.
yeah, I was going to say. The next guest is fuming.
Yeah, it's not really our jurisdiction. That is actually the guest has got to leave.
It's technically still his room. So.
Now, obviously, with the news like that, helicopter come down, ambulance, news are trying to find out what's going on. Died of natural causes. The older gentleman who had been at Pontin, I think he booked himself there for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. right? He stayed there, passed away in his sleep. So not anything suspicious. But nonetheless, I'm still looking at the news going, I got an event to sell.
Yeah.
And I hope people ain't looking at this guy.
It's not the hook you want, isn't it?
In it, yeah. Oh, like people going, can I
Murderously fun.
Yeah, exactly.
First thing I got was an
savings to
email.
die for. Here, Compton's.
Trust me, this event's killer. The first thing I was getting is people going, what room number was he? Because I don't want to be in that room as well.
Yeah,
For some ghost is tickling me in my sleep. Right? So that's what I was getting. And but we did the first one, major success in terms of people loved it. It was, I mean, even the weather, it was during the time it was raining, and as soon as we got to the weekend, it got to a freaky like 22 degrees throughout the whole weekend, not one spot of rain. So I was like, look, God is saying this is a good event. Let's make this pop. Let's make this happen. We get to the end of it, me and my team sit down and all go, yo, what are we feeling? We didn't make the money. We lost a lot. I say I lost a lot. But what are we saying? Everyone's like, this was banging. And I'm like, you know what? I feel it too. Let's do it next year.
First time round, like, how much did you? Obviously, it wasn't that big.
First time round, about 12.
12. Okay.
About 12.
So you're still taking a hit, but you're like, I can see where this is going.
Like in my head, I'm thinking we can recoup this because it's good. It's like a lost leader. You know, the first one's going to take money out your pocket. You're investing in a brand. The first one, no one knew about, but by the next one, everyone's going to hear about this. So we planned for the next one, and these events take a year.
Why was the first one good then? So
the first one was good because, like I said, the weather was great, the vibes were great.
the people who went really enjoyed it.
They thoroughly enjoyed it. The comedy show, my team were on point. When it came to just all the activities we wanted to run, the pool party, the comedy, the pajama party, the theme night, what was the theme the first one? Was it superheroes or something? Or no, I can't remember what it was. It was either superheroes or something we had to dress up on. But everybody took part. Everyone got involved, right? And it worked. It was really, really good. Next one, we're gonna pretend like no one knocked on the door.
Yeah. Wait, do we need to pause
Just hold
the
up.
show?
Just
10 minutes. Oh, cool. Someone's 4.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, that chair. Someone booked in at 4. Cool.
Okay.
Okay. 10 minutes. Yeah, we got
All right.
quarter 2.
So the first one was just great. We get to the next one. Now it takes a year to plan these events. So this is March, the first one. Was it March or April? No, the first one was in April 2018. The second one, because the dates were available in April, we did it at the end of March. So we had 11 months to plan this one. So this is now already a year of planning, ready to do another year of planning. We get to March 2019. The sales, no, even before that, we get to like the end of 2018. The sales are low, the numbers ain't good, but we're thinking, no worries, people are gonna buy when they buy. They've heard about this, they're just probably waiting for other people to buy. We get to 2019 now. Still the numbers are low. It is what it is. It's all my money coming out of this, right? Having to sacrifice, sell, pull out loan, etc. Get to the event. The one in 2019, in my eyes, worked really well in a lot of ways, but there was a handful of things that didn't. We had coaches going out to pick people up as well from different points. The coach that we had one that was going to go from, because it was in Southport this time, up in just past Liverpool. It was going to go from London, pick up in Birmingham, pick up in Manchester, because it's all that on that same route, and then straight to Southport. The coach driver was a crazy woman who, crazy woman. I'm not even on the coach. I'm at the weekend already, like the night before, to set up. Crazy woman. What she's now done is she's gone to pick up people, and we told them that you can drink on the coach, that we're going to provide, not only we're going to drink, we're going to provide you rum. We were sponsored by Bamboo Rum. They gave us crate loads of it. I'm like, cool. We're gonna put like 8 or 9 bottles of this on the coach. So while they're on the coach, people could just vibes.
Yeah, partying, yeah.
This bitch, yeah. As soon as people get on the coach, sorry, you can't have none of that drink.
What?
And we've sold it to people like your coach ticket includes you getting free rum on the coach. You can't have none of that drink. So they're phoning me now, and I'm up in Southport. They're in Houston. Aurie, this coach driver is saying we can't do this. Okay, all right, I'll have a word with her manager. Her manager calls her, says they can, and then she's gone, well, I'm not having it. I don't want to tidy it all up. So I said, all right, just make sure you tidy up to my team that were on the coach. Then she's also going skits because she's not supposed to do this shift. She's doubled up because someone else is ill, right? She's driven down to London to pick up everybody, but she's now gone, like, not looked at her sat nav, she's gone a total wrong way, right? It's a straight road. It's literally the A40 to the M40, all the way to Birmingham, then the M40, all the way up to the M6, all the way up to Manchester. It's a straight road. My girl has gone on some excursion to Welland Garden City, and it added 3.5 hours on the journey. So
Why has she done that? Did she give it a reason?
She said
Because she's had all the rum.
it must have been. She's picked up people in the wrong cities. Right? I kid you not. She's gone to Welland Garden City.
It's just
thinking
like
this is one of her pitch
like
points.
old.
Sorry, I'm
like,
just gonna get my kids.
yeah.
A bit of a detour. Yeah.
I've got to stop to have a word with this piece of shit.
Like my punters are screwing. The ones waiting at Birmingham are waiting for over 2.5 hours. The ones waiting in Manchester as well. Some of them just said, you know what? We're pitching for a taxi. Go Manchester. I had to refund them their coach ticket, right? From Manchester to Southport, because they could do like a little taxi for like £200, but with not a 7-seater with however many of them in there, which is like coach ticket. I had to reimburse them. The coach took 9 hours to get from London to Southport. It is a 4-hour drive, maximum, right? The company were vexed. They said, look, we're so sorry. But the worst bit was there was a man on the coach, yeah. If you could think of the roadest of roadmen ever in life, and if he's hearing this,
sort of like
it's the Woods vibe,
almost Ali Woods. This guy came off the coach. Everybody's vexed.
Yeah.
Everybody's thinking, I want to punch someone. Like some of the events that we had at the beginning of that day, that was a Friday, we had to cancel because people weren't there. Bro, this guy comes off, and the first thing he does is he finds me to square off in front of me. Bruv, I'm vexed. I've been on this coach. They're telling me I couldn't do this. Rare. Also, because he was also somebody who wanted to stop every hour to smoke cigarette or some. Yeah. And she wouldn't let him and everyone was like, could we stop stopping, please? And he's like, no, but I want to have a cigarette. It was a lot of tension on the coach. And they all come up and it all, bro, this is fire fucking festival.
Yeah, that's
right. And it all comes on to me when he comes off the coach. He lets off. He's ready to fight me. But it's only after an hour he goes and gets his room. Everyone's calmed down now and they're all chilled out. And he comes back and he says that, my brother, I'm sorry. I was just fuming. I've had my chill time. He's had his weed. I've had my chill time. Look, you're a black brother. I'm a black brother. I admire what you're trying to do and how difficult it is. I shouldn't be trying to put you down. So he's all right after that.
Oh, nice.
Right, and that was nice to see. Everything goes great for the entire weekend afterwards now. It was just that bit that was hard. Yeah. Until we get to the last day where we have to look at the cash and all of that stuff. And I know we're already down. But when I really do the numbers in the end, because we had people that came on did a day pass as well. When I did the numbers in the end, I'm now down on this one like 20 something, right? Bro.
Would if you had sold it out, was it like you'd break even kind of thing? Or
No, if I sold it out,
you would have made money.
We would have made.
Right.
It wouldn't have been like the money I was thinking in terms of buying a place, money. But it would have been 4 figures, comfortable and enough to invest in the deposit for the next one and enjoy a nice little holiday whilst knowing the brand is something building. Yeah. It was a big failure. But the reason why I say it's not at the same time is it caused me to come out of that afterwards and go, why am I been spending so much time trying to build Comedy Mania Weekender, Comedy Mania the brand? I did a Comedy Mania mega tour at the end of 2018 and all that. I mean, it was 18 shows, 18 cities, 18 comedians on the tour. Wow. Right?
That must have been a nightmare.
Bro. And luckily they weren't all on each day. But trying to organise
But the same coach driver. Just
yeah. It was only supposed to be 3 countries, but she took us on some detour.
Yeah. Did a show in Berlin. It was nuts.
Mate. But because we did that was 18 shows, right? That tour cost about 45 grand to do. But that's all ticket money. I probably, it cost 41 or 42. I profited in a tour of 18 shows, 4.5 grand. Yeah. there are people that are on that tour that made as much as I did just being an artist, as opposed to me having to promote, sell, design, do all the logistics. And working with comics is not easy. When you try, you know this as well.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Oh,
about,
man.
mate.
When you try,
Fucking-
like, I'm one of the most organized people when it comes to logistics. If I book you in like May and and the date is in September, and I've given you all your information via email, and then a week before I'm like, just to double check everyone's cool for next week. On the day, I shouldn't expect you to go, what city am I doing again today? Bro, check your email.
What city?
What city?
What question as well.
Bro, how you gonna
Not
wake
even
up?
like, what time do you want me
Do you see
there?
what I mean? You could wake up and I could tell you you're supposed to be at the Manchester show and you haven't even figured out your logistics. How am I getting there? Bruv, you need to tell me. Ah, man, it was a nightmare. But doing all of that, doing Comedy Mania weekend, doing the tour, doing everything that was around Comedy Mania, because it was a very solid brand, was great. But I wouldn't say it was a failure as a whole, but it was a failure that I needed because it made me go at the end of it, me and my team as well, me and the person I was seeing at the time, one of my good friends, Stacey, is also second in charge of Comedy Mania and Team AS, said, Aurie, you need to cut all of this out and just focus on you. Because I lost 35 grand. I've recouped it and I've paid off. And I still got some more bits to pay off. If I took 10 grand and said, all right, Aurie, pay for yourself to go to LA, New York, Chicago, and just feel out comedy out there and pay for you to stay out there for about a week in each one of those, hit up the clubs. I got friends of mine who are either just working, grafting American comics to movie star American comics that I can go, throw me somewhere. If I put that money down and said, yo, just show me to the right people and I don't have to be paid. I just want to go and work the clubs so I can lay my ground there and let people know who I am. That would have been a bigger outcome in the long run than losing 35 grand at a weekender where nobody even remembered or cared that it was Aurie Styla that did it. It was that weekender where somebody went there and went, oh, Pontins, man, the mushrooms on the walls. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
35 grand for what? The best that's not a bad thing. It's one thing that I learned from an advisor. Debt is not a bad thing as long as it's one, manageable, and two, one that doesn't cripple you. Manageable debt is like a phone bill. People don't think of it as a debt, but when you get a mobile phone, which is worth £1,000, and you got to pay for 24 months, that is a form of a credit that they're giving you is the phone. Debt's not bad. So being able to manage your debt or invest in things that you have to pay back on, as long as you can pay it back, it's good for your credit score, right? Then you've got the debt where it's one that is bad, but at least you got something out of it. A friend of mine, big shout out to Sarah, she showed me this one time. She showed me what she did when she racked up a bill or a debt of like 15 grand if she lived her life. She got up and said, I'm going on holiday, taking this cruise, spending this money, buying this clothes, da-da-da-da-da. And then afterwards, she had to pay this back off. But the thing is at the end of that, you have memories, you have things to show for the decisions you made. It's not always responsible, but at least it's a debt that you can say, I made and accumulated, but I had a good time doing it. Then you had what I had, trying to do better in my life, invest in myself to make sure I can make this into a business that can later on do something for me. And then I have nothing to show of it apart from a big 35 grand bill that I need to now pay off.
You do have something to show for it though, because you have knowledge. You have knowledge of business, which is so important.
Yeah.
Like if you were
that.
speaking to a financial advisor and you're like, I tried to do this, I tried to do it in the best way, it didn't work out. I had a business decision that didn't work out. They'd be like, fine. If you went to a business advisor and you're like, yeah, I spent 15 grand on going on holiday and drink champagne, it's fucking sick.
No, I get
They would
you.
be like,
I get you. For an advisor
Yeah.
business, 100%, what you're saying is
Yeah,
correct, right? I guess it's when you're at a point where you're going, why the hell am I even doing this? And for your own self-help and your own like state of mind. When I racked up that debt and I had nothing to show for it, apart from a bunch of people that a week after went, I had a great time that weekend and nothing else. For me, that was hard. So I had to sit there and go, I need to build myself up.
But quickly, before we go, like, when you fail, generally, you have a bad gig. This happens with the comedy stuff.
Yeah.
What's your first port of call? How do you start to feel like a winner again? How do you get back to yourself?
Oh, mate, that will...
if you've had a crippling bomb on stage, let's say, like, where do you go?
It's gonna sound so bad when I say this. I don't mean this to be arrogant. I've not had a crippling bomb on stage for a no.
You're the
For a
only
long-
person
No,
who's
no,
ever
no,
come
no.
in here
All I
and
do
sat
is
down.
win.
Not a single person has come in here.
I
and
have had bad shows,
Yeah.
but a crippling bomb that makes you go, "Why am I even doing comedy?" Never. It's never. I've had shows where I'm like, "Aurie, man, come on." Like the only time I remember being clean booed off stage is Gong Show, but that's what it's set
It's not.
for.
It's not stand up.
You see what I mean?
Okay, let's say you have an off one. It's just.
Oh, definitely off ones all the time. I mean, everyone has off stage just depending on how they are and how they feel at the time. I'm okay with it. Having an off one is all right. I actually enjoy the off shows, which is why I don't feel like it's crippling. An off show just means you felt like you were gonna hit the mark, you didn't. Now I'm gonna go back home, maybe have a look at the joke, or realize whatever mood I was in, I need to flush that out of my system because I've got a show tomorrow.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's out of my system. But never, I've seen crippling where a guy leaves the venue right away and like goes home. Like their train isn't until an hour and a half later. But you know what? It's probably
You don't need to hang around.
wanna be
hanging
around.
around. I've seen that happen, but I've not had it be that bad that I felt like I've had to leave. I just maybe one day it will happen, maybe crippling, but it's never been on stage that I've had that feeling. It's been when it comes to doing an event, that feeling is like, why the hell am I doing this? How do I come back from this? And it weren't easy, but not stage-wise, definitely not crippling like that.
Fair. Well, thank you so much for coming down and having a chat with us.
No, thank you for having me, man.
Give everyone your social channels before we go.
Cool. My social media, all of it is at Aurie, Aurie, Styla, Styla. That's Facebook, Insta, Twitter, not TikTok. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
We'll get there.
Well,
We'll get
I
there.
mean,
I can't do it.
You're not looking for that 13-year-old audience that Tom is weirdly,
Nah,
Tom is weirdly looking
It's the
for.
Yeah, I
future.
know.
It's the
It
future.
is the future, yeah.
Long live China.
Yeah.
You've got a gig coming up in Wuhan very soon, haven't
yeah. I'm playing Central Wuhan.
you? 15 travel's paid for.
It's going to be weird. I don't know if they'll be able to last with the
Yeah,
mask.
don't choke.
Yeah,
Just don't choke at that
You
one.
can't smile. Yeah. Ali Wood's gigs. I've got previews coming up. There's loads of previews now in London coming up, so please do follow up with the info on that. So get on that, and they're all about in London. So and thank you to all who've come to previews already. Really appreciate that, and I hope you've enjoyed it.
You can follow me at Tom Elwes, and you can follow us at AIDIF Pod. And you can also subscribe to our Patreon, guys. We have it, and we'd love your money. So please subscribe. We will make some bonus content if we get enough subscribers. So please, head on down to Patreon at AIDIF Pod. Good times. Yeah, good. Anything else, Horatio? You want to plug anything?
No.
Okay. You can find Horatio at Old Good Incel Forums.
At Horatio_Gould, and I just set up my TikTok account now, so
Okay.
big things are coming.
Okay. Big time stuff. Welcome to China.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you very much, guys. Goodbye.
Bye. See ya, mate.